Hey, what's up? Welcome. We are talking to real estate agents today. There was a big settlement that happened today. If you're in the space, the real estate space, you know what I'm talking about. The National Association of Realtors today sent out an email to all of its 1.1 million members, and they are settling. And but what's even more important now is there are going to be some serious changes coming to the MLS, and it's really going to affect buyers agents more than anything else. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a link here in the chat. I'm going to do that now. So if anybody wants to join us on we're live. We're actually live right now. If you want to come into the conversation, also we're on Clubhouse too. So if anybody on Clubhouse wants to jump in the conversation, let me know. But yeah, I dropped a stream link here. You know what? Let me do that. I'm gonna put the stream on Clubhouse for you guys as well. So if you guys want to jump in on the conversation, because I'd love to hear some additional thoughts on this, and like, hey, what are you gonna do? I mean, I have my thoughts, and and here's the thing: I've been playing in this space. In 2009, I made a decision in my business that I personally wasn't going to work with buyers anymore, and I started focusing only on listings. And we had buyers agents. We did hire buyers agents, but some of our buyer agents we actually used as showing agents. We paid them money to open doors. So I mean, are we going? Is that the direction we're going now? I mean, this is a big deal for the real estate space. So I want to hear what you guys' thoughts are. And here's the other thing I'll tell you. For me, we were, I'm lucky. I took a training a long time ago. Somebody had come in and done a training at our office, and he taught us how to explain the commission to the seller. And in a lot of ways, I never realized, I could have never imagined that, 15, 17 years later, that training would have been so relevant to just the way we've always approached our business when it comes to, the way we explained the commission to the sellers. And I feel like it's like literally a game changer. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. If anybody on Clubhouse, looks like we got about looks like we got 10 people right now on Clubhouse. As we get more people, we got about 9 people listening in on X. So we just got another one on X. So feel free to grab the link and come on in. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you want to come on video, or if you're on Clubhouse, just raise your hand. We'll bring you up. You can share what you're thinking, and love to just not talk to you, but hear some of your thoughts too. And hey, what are you gonna do, right? So in the chat, I dropped the link right there. So all you gotta do is click on that link, and you'll be in the what we call the green room with us on StreamYard. And then from there, I'll bring you in the conversation if you want to get in the conversation. I want to hear your thoughts. I mean, this is a huge deal, friend. This is like, listen, and here's what's like, I've got friends. Thank you. I love it, Sherry. I've got friends that are buyers agents, and their business is reliant on Zillow leads. Like, my gosh, how is that going to affect your business if you're relying on Zillow leads? This starts in July, from my understanding. How is this going to affect your business if you're reliant on Zillow leads to get paid as a buyer's agent, and now somebody calls you, you get a Zillow lead in, and they want to see a property? What are you going to do? And there's no compensation. Like, this is a game changer. Do you guys understand how big this is right now? Like, I want to hear some of your thoughts. Sherry, I saw you raise your hand. I tried to invite you up, but it doesn't look like the app's letting you call. There you go. Cool. Hey, what's going on? How are you?
I'm good. How are you? all of this, of course. I've only had a couple of conversations today, but there's a huge team at my office. It's actually the owner's team. The owner of my brokerage has a team of maybe, I don't know, 60 agents that just do Zillow leads all over Metro Atlanta. And I was sort of, he's on the owner's on a cruise, but I'm really interested to hear what how he's going to pivot. Because that's one of the first things I thought of. How is Zillow, how are these Zillow teams or even Zillow going to handle this? So
well, let me ask you a question. I don't want to say who cares about them, but at the end of the day, how are you going to handle this? Like, how are you going to, I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on it. Like, what's your plan going forward?
As far as buyers, I'm going to tighten up.
Throwing you right in the hot seat up here.
Yeah, seriously.
But no.
I know. And I don't have long because I have to run out to show some properties to a buyer, but I'm going to tighten up my buyer standards, my buyer consultation. I'm working on that now today with my coach. So I'm going to tighten up on that. And obviously, I guess like everybody else, I'm going to really focus more on listings, which I do anyway. But I can say that I'm really glad that I have 15 years of experience under my belt and not, I'm not a new agent, because I think
it's going to be tough, right?
It is. I think so.
I think it's going to get really challenging. I've did it, 21 years in real estate, right? I sold a lot of houses, helped a lot of people sell houses. This is a big deal. There's a lot of agents that rely on those compensations. They rely on being able to go to the MLS and grabbing, 2.5%, whatever it is, right? And now that that's gone, they're like, oh my, what am I going to do?
The get rich quick or fake it till you make it, agents are I think are going to go away. But more importantly, what's it going to do for the buyers? I mean, are they going to be forced or, just out of ease or, finance? Are they just going to go straight to the seller? And are dual agents going to come back and forth? I personally don't like dual agency. But yes, there's a lot of gray area out there.
Yeah. Well, and not just that, but like, what are they going to be able to negotiate? Is the buyer just going to say, is the buyer going to hear this a couple times and say, hey, I'm not paying anything, and then just say, I'm going to go directly to the listing agent? Like that's a big possibility too. Here's what I think. You guys already know what I think, right? Like everybody, I've been talking about this for 3 years, and I'd love to see some of the people in here that been back in the day on Clubhouse, right? We used to have these debates, and I said this was going to happen, and a lot of people fought on it, and here we are now. Like if you are reliant on just buyers and being a buyer's agent, you're going to have a lot of buyers that are going to say, hey, I'm sorry, but I'm not giving you percentage, right? Especially with high interest rates, low inventory, multiple. I don't know. I think it's going to be tough. I feel bad for a lot of agents. I feel for a lot of agents. I have empathy for a lot of real estate agents out there. Like, what are you going to do now? I want to hear from some more people. Feel free, raise your hand, come up, tell us. I'll give you my solution. It's listings. It's always been listings. It's what I teach. It's what I've been practicing for 15 years, Listings. Just get listings. You get listings, they come to you. Unfortunately, even in the market, 2021, we were selling a lot of houses. That was one of my last days actually in the trenches full time at people's tables. I remember getting a house with, we listed this house on Lakeside off the lake. It was a little cottage for $335. We had 40 offers on that property. 40. Think about that. We listed a property with 40 offers. So that meant that even in that situation, that means 39 real estate agents did the best job they could, but couldn't be paid no matter what, because you can only accept one offer, right? So, I mean, that's the reality of things.
I think it's going to get tough for listing agents too, though, David, because it's going to really be like the Hunger Games to get listings.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I think obviously everyone's going to try to adjust and pivot and just focus on, getting listings and working with sellers. So it's going to be more challenging, more competition.
It's okay. That's a good thing, right?
Oh, I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
I'm just, talking, I'm thinking out loud. I mean, like I said, I've got a lot of experience under my belt as well. I mostly work with sellers, but it's just, as just the industry and agents as a whole, just sort of thinking out loud.
Yeah, no, it's a great thought. I think, on, a lot of people are probably going to end up doing something else, unfortunately. Excuse me. Excuse me. A lot of people are going to end up
Hey, you too.
doing
Hi.
something. What's up? What's going on? How are you?
I'm good. I'm up here in Canada going, what's going on down in the States? I've been watching this for a while and I'm, just preparing myself up here in Canada. But I have a question, David. If you had, as a seller's agent, having 40 offers come in, like 40 offers come in, if 30 of them were represented on their own, and you had 10 that were represented by buying agents, which ones are you going to most likely lean towards or trust? Like, that's the piece as well. The value of an agent that brings a buyer with a very well documented offer, understanding that, I'm just curious about that.
Yeah. Well, in the real situation that I explained, shared the example, I think every one of those agents had a buyer's agent. I don't think anybody came to me without an agent in that case, which now that you said that made me think about it.
But think about it now. Yeah. When they do come this time, it's like, okay, there's 20 people out there. You don't know if they're coming with their mortgages already to be able to, so.
Well, hey, well, I'm a professional. So what do I got to work a little harder now, right? I'm going to have to make sure they're set up with my mortgage partner, right? I'm going to have to get them qualified. We're going to have to do some more work. That's all. Yeah, I get what you're saying, but that's right. That's probably the least of our issues. I mean, I get what you're saying. Yeah, but there's just going to be some more work from the listing agent, right? Or, or maybe some buyer's agents are crafty and savvy and say, hey, we're coming in and we're gonna at the end of the day, as a listing agent, this, everybody here knows this, that your job is to do the best job you can for your seller, right? Get them the most amount of money with the least amount of hassles in the time frame that works for them. And you have to be a professional. You have to look through you have to understand the mortgage, you have to understand the down payments, you have to understand the inspection contingencies, the other contingencies. So at the end of the day, yeah, whether I have 40 offers, whether there's a buyer's agent, or 40 offers, whether they're all, without buyer's agents, I still got to do the work. I still got to go through all the offers, right? We still got to figure out which one's the best one.
And I do hear you on that. I truly do hear you. I don't know what's going to happen down there. And as I've been listening to a few people from the States talk about this, it's going to be the agents who do the work, agents such as yourselves on stage that go and do the work and work for not only their sellers, but I guess I understand in the States, you're allowed to also represent the buyer. Maybe you are allowed to do dual agency. Up here in British Columbia, Canada, you can't. There's no such thing as dual agency. You represent one or the other. So interesting. I look forward to hearing more about it. Thank you for letting me share.
Of course. Yeah, no, I appreciate you coming up. And I'm guessing, I mean, we have a university, we have a listings club, and we have, right now I think we have one client that's in Canada, and, and it's probably coming to Canada soon, right? I can't imagine it's going to be, 3-4 months. Well, it actually I don't even think kicks in here until what, July, mid-July or something. So probably sometime, maybe by the end of the year, it'll be in Canada too. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, no, I believe the Canadian Real Estate Association, that's what it is that governs Canada. I do believe that we have rules and regulations in place that at this moment in time, there is no talk about the fact that that the sellers would be just providing for their selling end. There's no talk of this at all in Canada. It's just everything happening in the States.
Interesting.
And I'm not sure why. So.
Okay. Yeah. Well, maybe I misunderstood what she was saying. Maybe it's just talk then, and there's nothing really going on in the backgrounds as far as the associations and stuff. But yeah, definitely. Well, you know what? Hey, either way, we sell real estate. At least my wife sells real estate here in the U.S. and things are changing. And I'll tell you what she's doing. My wife has always been predominantly a buyer's agent. She's worked with buyers for a long time. And now she's like, you know what? I want to figure this listing thing out. And I think a lot of people are going to do that, right? I think there's going to be a lot of agents going to be like, you know what? I got to figure this listing side of the business out. And I'll tell you, and I think that's the solution. I can't control what other people do. I can't control what the buyers are going to want to pay and what they're not going to want to pay. I can't control what the sellers and the sellers agents are going to want to, cooperate with me or whatever they're going to do. Right. You guys know in real estate, there's a lot of bad actors, unfortunately. And so the one thing you can control is you can control yourself. You can control how you get out there, getting listings, taking those listings and being like me, like getting the 40 offers or in other cases, 6 offers, or in other cases, it doesn't matter. When you have the listings, everybody has to come to you no matter what. It was what I learned. I'm lucky. I joined Keller Williams a long time ago, and that's what I was taught from the beginning, that listings are leverage. And now, even more important, listings are the leverage. More important. Love it. Anybody else welcome to come up too, by the way. And I want to let you guys know, like on Monday, coincidentally, like this could not have come out at a better time. Okay. We have an 8-day challenge. I mean, I don't want to sound like a jerk. Because there's a lot of people that I got to figure this out. But I'm saying we have a 8-day challenge starting Monday, a listings challenge, and it's literally starting Monday. And this news came out today. Man, if I were real estate agents, I would figure out how to get into that challenge and spend the next 8 days with a group of us that all know what we're doing when it comes to listings. Get some of those tools ahead of time, ahead of the other people in your office or whatever they're doing in your board and your MLS. And yeah, I get it. It's July, but July is going to be here before you know it. Before you know it, it's going to be July, and you got to wake up one day, because this is what a lot of realtors are going to do. They're going to bury their head in the sand and say, okay, I'll deal with it in July. Well, July's going to be here soon, my friends. It's going to be here soon. All right. Does anybody else have any questions, thoughts? Thank you, Lauren. Appreciate the contribution. Phenomenal. Sherry as well. Thank you for jumping up and contributing. Who else has something they want to add to the conversation? Just raise your hand. Also, love to get some, if you guys want to join us on, I am streaming live, by the way. Let me drop this link for you guys in the chat. I'm going to drop in the chat a link where you can literally join me live. Okay, looks like Cheryl wants to come up. I love it. Good. I haven't seen you in a little while, Cheryl. Good to see you. All right, I'm going to, so here's a link. If you want to, Cheryl, if you want, click on that link in the chat and come join me here on video. We're streaming live on multiple platforms. Or you can just chill here if you want. It's up to you. What's going on? Oh, we got bad connection, Cheryl. Yeah, what were you saying?
Oh my God.
Yeah, we can't really make out what you're saying, Cheryl. I apologize. It's not a good connection. So I want to talk about. Sorry, you want to try again? Yeah. Really bad connection, Cheryl, unfortunately. So here's the thing. Couple things to think about now. It's not like the real estate industry is going away, right? It is still going to be people that need to buy and sell homes. That's not changing. What is changing is the way that agents, real estate, this is like really the only thing that's changing. And I know there's going to be some agents, like I like Lauren's point. I hope I'm saying your name right.
It's pronounced Lorene, but
Laureen.
that's
Okay,
okay.
good. See, so I
Thank
wasn't.
you.
Thank you. Well, see, that's why I said something. So Laureen, a great name, by the way. Thank you.
Thank you.
So yeah, so because I know there's going to be a lot of you know that position, you know, and I think it's a great position. And even me as a listing agent, Laureen, I preferred when buyers would show up with a really, really good buyer's agent because it makes my life easier. I don't have to babysit the buyer, right? I don't have to worry about all that stuff. So I get that.
There you go.
You
there
know?
you go. There, and that's where you need to add the value. You know, I'm going to come with a buyer that's all ready to go, and you'll know that everything's in place. And so now you get it as an agent. Your sellers might get it, but I guess it's the buyer that you're going to have to convince and say, hey, you know what? In the past, this is the way it worked. We still got paid out of the deal. So if you offered $1 million, my commission still came out of that deal. So we're going to offer $1 million on the place, but you're going to agree, and the seller will understand that I'm going to take my 3.5 and 1.75 or whatever it is out of that $1 million deal. So there's just a better way, a creative way of doing the same thing. It's all about the way you talk and communicate to your buyers about your value of representing them. There you go. I'm done.
Yeah, I agree. I think, yeah, listen, I feel like there's going to be a lot of buyers agents that are they're going to figure this out. And it's, you know, it's the 80-20 principle, right? That's just the way it is. 80% are really going to get crushed, and 20% are going to kill it. I think you're just going to see that. That's it. You know, so there's also, you know, we were talking about this earlier, like I was thinking about all the, you know, I know a lot of agents that rely on Zillow. Like their whole business is built on Zillow leads. I mean, to me, that sounds scary now. I mean, honestly, I've never been a fan. I think it's a lot of money, and it's a lot of time wasted. But listen, there's like I said, there's people that are, you know, making, you know, who knows, 100,000, whatever they're making, you know, maybe more, but they rely on Zillow. What happens now when you get a Zillow lead and they expect you to meet you over there, and there's no compensation on the MLS? That's going to be tough. What do you think, Cheryl? You got your phone fixed? No, Cheryl, no. Is it me or is it Cheryl?
I can hear you. We can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So yeah. So those are a couple things. Couple things to think about. Now, I'd love to hear some other thoughts. Like, so let's talk about what are you going to do now, right? Like, so here's the reality. We're here. Some of us will like it. Some of us don't like it, right? That's the thing. Some of us are going to, you know, and, you know, I learned from Gary Keller in Gary's book, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. They have 3 stages, or no, I'm sorry. This is in the Shift book, right? The Shift book. They says people go through 3 stages. They go through denial, anger, and then acceptance. I always remember that because I used to teach for Kelly. The denial. So the first thing is going to be denial. Then after there's like, okay, now we get angry because it's the real deal. We can you know, pout all we want and pretend it's not happening, but eventually, yes, it's happening. And now acceptance. So acceptance is, okay, I'm in this situation. What am I going to do? So I want to hear what some of your thoughts. Like, what are you going to do? Yeah, Cheryl, you ready to go?
I don't think so.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Me?
Yeah, there you go. We can hear you now. Are you a real estate agent, Cheryl? You are, right?
Are you serious?
Yeah, I am serious.
You hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, 100%.
I mean, I'm live.
It's going in
I'm
and
the only. Oh Lord.
Hey, why don't you jump on there's a link right in the chat. Jump on there. Maybe you have a better chance over here jumping in the video with us over here on the live stream. You get to hang out and be famous on the live stream with us. We got 82 people right now listening in on the live stream, and it's growing by the minutes. You know, oh wow, it looks like we got a bunch of people here too in the clubhouse. It's looking nice. Good. So I'd love to hear from someone else. Who else has a thought? Let me take a look at the chat and see what people are writing. Who says the sellers won't offer BA compensation? Nobody said they won't. I didn't say that. Nobody said that. You said it, actually. Right? Nobody said that. They may not. Who knows? But if you read the email, like I'm gonna read the email. You tell me what it says. I'm gonna read it. Because I literally had, like, I'm not the smartest guy out there, so I had to look up some of the words, right? So I'm gonna tell you, but I'll read it. What it says, there's a paragraph. There's a lot to it. Oh, what did I do with that? Oh, here it is. All right, there's a paragraph right here. Let me read this, and you tell me. Hopefully, I could be misunderstanding, but where is this? Where is that particular paragraph here? Hold on, I'm looking for it right now. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna share it. Actually, let me share my screen too right here with y'all that are live. So we'll let you guys see this and see what you think. Hold on, there we go. All right, cool. So that's the email that came out. So we're streaming that live. You guys can see it. All right, and then it's right here. So compensation offers moved off MLS. Oh, is that? Yeah. So NAR agreed to put in place a new ruling prohibiting offers of compensation on the MLS. Offers of compensation could continue, which is great, to be an option. Consumers can pursue off MLS through negotiation and consideration with real estate professionals. So sellers can offer concessions for on the MLS, example, concessions for buyer closing costs. The change will go into effect mid-July. So when I read NAR has agreed to put in place a rule prohibiting offers of communication on the MLS, that tells me that there'll be no offers of communication, compensation on the MLS. That makes sense? I'm sure if everybody has gotten that email. So yeah, read through it. And again, this is just what it is. That's all. There's nothing wrong. It just changes the game. I can't imagine. Remember back in the day, I remember my first vacation. We went to the Bahamas, a long time ago. This was a long time ago. Long time ago, over 30 years ago. I had to go to the travel agent's office downtown Worcester, sit down with the travel agent, right? This is how we had to do it. I had to go there, sit down. She had a book. She looked through the book. She had different airline. She'd call the airline. They'd send her some fax, whatever they sent, right? She'd book everything. Then she'd call the hotels. It's different now, right? That's all. It's just evolution. The real estate industry's been, a lot of industries are going to be impacted. It's not just, but right now, you're all realtors. So this is why you're here right now. So I'm just curious to know, like, hey, what are some of the things you're going to be doing? I'll tell you something you should be doing. Here's what I would do is I would go up and I would get in that on the top of that link right there. There's an 8-day real estate listings challenge that starts Monday. And I promise you, we're going to be talking about this throughout these 8 days. And so I just couldn't, for the challenge, it's going to be better timing, right? Like this has been planned for 2 weeks. It starts on Monday. So if I were you, I would be jumping in there and figuring out, okay, there's agents all over the country. Let's collaborate. We got top producers. Let's figure this out. What are you doing? Here's what I'm doing. What do you think? Let's practice. Let's, this is what I'm taking, because I'm going all in on listings. Cheryl, what's going on, Cheryl? I see you trying to jump in. What's the deal?
No, not yet.
Did you have some? Did you want to add something? All right. Well, Cheryl's trying to get her connection together. You should jump over with us on X, Cheryl. You guys on X? I'm on X. So you guys can connect with me over on X. I'll tell you, there's a lot of stuff going on X now. And so you're welcome to jump over there and let's connect over there. And yeah, hey, what's up, Dawn? Cheryl, if you could, I'm just gonna if you could just mute your mic. I don't know how to do that anymore in Clubhouse, but just because you're getting some background noise. And then hopefully you'll get your mic fixed later and come back to you. What's going on, Don?
Hey, Dave. How you doing, buddy?
Doing great. How about yourself today?
Good. In light of all this, I figured you'd be on the Clubhouse here, creating a conversation.
Yeah,
so,
man.
Yeah, this is changes that my wife and I have talked about for over a 20-year span. And saying that 10% out of the back pocket of a seller has always been kind of high. Not 10% of the commission, but overall the equity. And then when I saw these lawsuits coming, I just figured our lobby, which is next to the insurance lobby, one of the most powerful one. I was surprised that they folded so quickly on this. I thought we'd have at least 2 years worth of court battles over this, but for whatever reason, they seem to take the quick road and pay off. I don't know if they were looking down the road, maybe even larger lawsuits.
I think they're paying out 413 million or something.
400, over 400 million.
Yeah, compared to this could be billions. It could have put them out of business, right? I think that's why.
If you figure though the large how many real estate agents pay in, there's quite a big compensation package they've been receiving. But anyway, and aside from that, here we are. So what do we do? I've always, much like you, talk to other agents about buyer broker agreements. I put them in practice. I've utilized them. A lot of that depends on the broker being able to back that up for the agent. So, but that's going to be the tool in their chest that they're really going to have to get well acquainted with and be able to articulate that to their buyer and understand that. The idea of, I haven't read it yet, but I saw a couple of the attorneys talk about it. Do you know whether or not you're allowed to call, I assume not, but call the agent and say, hey, is there compensation being offered, even though it's not going to be printed on the MLS? I don't know if that conversation can be had.
It's a good question, Don. Hadn't really thought of that. I would, my first thought was that, yeah, absolutely, you would be calling, but I wonder if you're right. Who knows? Maybe there's going to be something that makes it even more difficult. Hopefully not, right? But my first thought would be like, yeah, because actually, well, if you read the email does actually say. So I think to that question, now that I'm thinking about it, if you read the email, have you seen the email? It does.
No, I haven't read it.
Okay, so it does say right here. So it says this particular paragraph. It's on compensation offered. It says in sellers can offer buyer concessions on. Okay, that's a different line. Here it is. Offers of compensation could continue to be an option consumers can pursue off MLS through negotiations in consultation with real estate professionals. So my guess would be that yes, you probably are going to be able to work out the details and right on the behind the scenes would be my guess. But again, it's just a guess. I mean, I'm not at these tables, as you know. But
yeah, but the big picture that I don't like is the image that it portrays, as if the agent on the ground reputation may be tarnished through the eyes of the consumer on this. Why have you been doing this for so long and kind of keeping it hidden. And that's never been the case. It's never been not openly discussed. It's never been something that, we haven't talked to and even have it in print for the seller. So, but this is almost coming in that vein where, we're not going to use a buyer's agent anymore because we can just sidestep them and go directly to the listing agent. And you're going to see that happen. I also see markets or companies like Redfin, Zillow, Realtor.com. I see them changing their format where if we're not going to use an MLS, because that's what they're also discussing, then how are you going to advertise? Well, now these companies can have some sort of promotion for advertisement, whether it's free now and then increase later. I can see that happening as well. So, it's going to change quite a bit, but the idea behind a buyer's broker not being relevant anymore, it's not that they're not relevant. It's just they really need to understand how to utilize that buyer broker. I'll give you a real quick example. I had folks that we were, showing homes. They found a for sale by owner, happened to be a buddy, brought us along. Hey, we have an agent. We made an agreement together. And then there came to the appraisal. Well, the appraisal obviously was lower. And then once we negotiated, it didn't have anything to do with our compensation. So even though they paid the same amount in our compensation, the buyers, they still got the home a little less, but that made the seller of the home say, well, why didn't you lower your compensation, and why did you make the buyer pay for it? I said, well, our business model and your business model have nothing to do with one another. This is something we agreed upon prior to even showing homes. So yeah. I just cut it short. But that kind of confrontation, agents need to get together and understand how to have a whole set of different conversations with for sale by owners when they get in and they start using their buyer broker compensation. But you really have to have a strong broker, because I've had these before where brokers were said, well, there's really nothing you can do with it. And I look at the broker square in the face. I said, I'm going to get this commission and you're not going to get paid anything on it if you're not going to help me. So sure enough, I got the commission that I didn't pay them. That would have been our commercial deal. So, but, so if you look at the commercial side of real estate, this happens all the time right now. You have letters of promising to pay. You get paid for the work that you do along the way. There's a lot of options that you get paid in commercial. So this is kind of paralleling that, because you typically don't see a compensation listed for commercial deal. You just call and talk to the agent. Hey, is there compensation? If not, then we know where to get it from. So this is not unusual, but it's definitely a game changer for the residential market.
Yeah, I think, Don, I think it's just a matter of a lot of agents are going to just have to adjust, right? Adapt, make some changes to the way they've normally done it. And that's it. As I was listening to you, you kind of reminded me of FSBOs too. Like, this is kind of a no-brainer now for agents that have always worked FSBOs, right? Like me, I'm considering actually getting I have a broker's license, but I'm like literally considering just starting to go out there and take listings again. I'm considering it. I hadn't considered it in a while, but it's like seems like it's going to be easier now.
Well, in Silicon Valley, they've already started this. There's an agent out there, a brokerage out there that's doing flat rates and 1% to buyers agents.
Well, they've been doing that forever, though, Don. That's been going on for a long time, right?
The $10,000 commission to the buyer. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's been going forever since I started in real estate. But yeah, but now to be able to tell a for sale by owner, like, hey, let's throw it on. You just pay me, and then let's let the other agents figure it out. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's essentially what the regular seller's doing now. It's no difference.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
I'm hearing both your side, what you guys are both saying. I just think, I think there's more of a market. I think more people are going to be heading towards being a selling agent or listing agent. I think the bonus is looking after the buyers, creating such a value in who you are as a buyer's agent that you get deals done, that you let the buyers understand your value. I think, you know,
I love it.
I don't know. And the reason why I'm doing that, because here again, we can't, a lot of FSBOs, yes, for sale by owners. So I create a buyer's agency. You guys call it a buyer's broker's contract. It's a buyer's agency contract. And basically saying, hey, you know, do you see my value? These are all the things I'm going to do for you. I am going to take care of you from start to finish, right to the day, the walkthrough. I'm with you so that you know you're getting the product that you want. So this is my value. Do you agree to pay me this amount of money if the seller isn't going to give me anything? And they go, yes. And I'm going, okay, here we go. I have no fear about walking into a listing, because I've let these people know my value as a buyer's agent, even if the seller ain't going to give me any money. Anyway, that's just my thought. I think that's where the gold is. Everyone's going to be rushing to list.
No.
people?
Yeah, I'm not.
know.
I love what you're
Okay.
saying. So I love what you're saying. I feel like what you're saying is brilliant from the perspective of the buyer's agent, but you are still not going to you're not going to change my mind. And I've been having this debate forever on being the listing agent. Being the listing agent, you own the inventory. When you own the inventory, everybody has to come to you. That would be like, it's like Amazon. Everybody goes to Amazon. Why do they go to Amazon? Because Amazon has the inventory. So I agree with what you're saying. I think you need to be the best buyer's agent in the world. And you need to figure out how to articulate that and be compelling and explain it. But I am not gonna. And again, for you, I'm not saying you don't do this. I'm just saying, I don't think, I think you got to be the listing agent. I feel like I got to be the listing agent.
I hear you, and I get it. I get it. I love being a buyer's agent. So so I'll bring you the buyers, and I'll work out my compensation. Don't worry about it. But no,
That's
go
awesome.
for it. And yeah, you're right. But you're going to be the biggest Amazon, so I'm going to follow you. Anyway, thanks, David.
No, I love what you're saying. I think it's beautiful. I hope a lot of agents, follow you and think the same way you do, because that's what it's going to take right now, Laureen. That's what it's going to take. Agents need to step it up, and they need to understand the value that they bring to the table, and why somebody's gonna write them a check if they have to for $5,000 or $6,000 or whatever it is to represent them, right? And they need to figure that out. So I'm glad you shared that. Yeah, Dawn, what's up?
Yeah, I like what Loren love what she was saying. I mean, we teach all of our agents, here's ideally what you do. Here's the reason this form is created, and here is your compensation is based upon your value. No one is in dispute of that. But the mechanics of it, the reality of where we've really never had to go out there and do this on a consistent basis. You're not going to get that from every single buyer, because they're not going to understand it fully because of the way it used to be. So it's just going to take a little bit of a learning curve. It's going to take a little bit of a bend in the market. But the old adage, you need to list to exist, is always still relevant, because of the control of the market, or because of the be able to take
Leverage.
On an area that you can dominate. But yeah, teaching them exactly, if you have agents, and hopefully you have agents under you, Lorraine, because what you're saying is perfect. But if you have agents who are doing exactly that, they're going to be a lot better off. But there's a lot of agents who are going to bail out of this because they can't figure it out, and maybe they should.
And Don, they're not going to feel comfortable trying to figure it out, because now all of a sudden you're turning into a salesperson as opposed to somebody that just kind of helps people. You know what I mean? Walks them through the process. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. Just saying it's a different skill set now to convince somebody that they have to pay you. And as more and more people, this is my thought, that as this becomes more mainstream, buyers are going to start hearing like, well, hey, hold on, why do I need to pay somebody if I can get the house? Maybe I just go directly to the listing agent and make the listing agent do twice as much work, and right, and not. So you just never know. But you're right. I think there's going to be a percentage of people that want that representation. And then there's going to be people, I think, that are going to say, you know what, I don't need that. I'm going to do it on my own.
Yeah, and because of the internet, it makes their job much more simple to do the research, because like I tell every seller, listen, the buyer knows more about your property and its area and the safety and all of the concerns than you do, because they're looking to move here. They're not assimilated into the culture yet. So they've done all the homework already, and everything is out there, easily accessed, from what you pay for the property to whether there's sex offenders next door. So all of those things, if you look at it, you're going to see a lot of advertisement. This is what I'm thinking. Hey, list your house no more than 3.5%. And maybe they're kicking in 5% or a half or 1% to the buyer's agent. You're going to see a lot of that happen almost overnight.
Well, to be honest with you, so let's chew on this a little bit. Hey, and by the way, Louise, I invited Louise up. I invited Michelle. I know Michelle's a killer down the bottom with Fizbos. You're welcome to come up if you want. Love to hear you guys' thoughts on this conversation. Anybody, raise your hands. We literally have 198 people here on X listening in. So, guys, listen, come on up. There's a link. Here's the link. I'll drop the link in the chat as well on Clubhouse. Join us in the live stream. I'd love to see you on video. Join us. And I forget where I was going. Oh, I know where I was going with that. Like Don, there's been that forever, man. I remember starting in real estate 21 years ago, and there was a company that had like red and white signs. It was like for sale, list your home, something. The listing something, and that they were doing that model back then, right? 3%. We take 2, give away 1. Do you think it's probably going to press it even lower, because you're going to get these discount companies and say, hey, we'll just take 1%, right? Do everything 1%. I mean, I hate to say it, but that might be coming down the road. I'm not going to be doing that, but I'll tell you, I wouldn't doubt if you start seeing things like that. And the other thing we were talking about earlier was, what about the agents that have to rely on Zillow? What are they going to do? I have a friend. She closed 35 transactions last year. Almost 90% of her business comes from Zillow. How's that going to impact her business now going forward? I mean, that's I don't know. I'm guessing Zillow's running around trying to figure that out too. All right. Who else? Any other questions, thoughts? We'd love to hear from some of you guys. Feel free, raise your hands, come up. Love to. We got 5 people on stage. What do you guys think? Any other thoughts here? What are we thinking? What are we looking at? What's the deal? What are you going to do? Well, let me tell you what you should do. On Monday, coincidentally, it starts this Monday. Go up to the top. You click on that link. You're going to see there's a challenge. Starts on Monday. It's 8 days. We're going to get together for 8 days. 6 of those days, we're going to have a live training on a specific type of seller. Okay, who to call, what to say, how to say it, what you're going to make for an offer. Then we're going to go off in the afternoon, and groups of us are going to get together and make calls, hold each other accountable, share our numbers with each other, compete. Right, we're going to do this for 8 days. The winner is going to get a really special opportunity, also a certification. Everybody that goes through it gets a certification. It's an awesome opportunity to get some not just accountability, but community. Right. And for some of you, I know some of you in this room have been have experienced our real estate listings club. We still have a lot of, like Jennifer's been with us for 2 years. Ashley, 2 years, right? Norman crushing it with all these guys are crushing it with listings. They're still with us. because it works. These are the guys you're going to be hanging out with. So if I were you, I think the smartest thing I'd be doing right now is I'd be jumping in, taking advantage of that 8-day challenge while you can. It starts Monday and it's only $297. We kept the price cheap on purpose. And I'll tell you, man, it's going to be the smartest thing, in my opinion, because yesterday I didn't even know about this conversation. None of us did. So next week, I'm telling you, we're going to be strategizing. We're strategizing this with top agents from all over the country. So I don't know, honestly, I should probably triple the price right now. Just because I feel like it should have been triple to begin with, but the value's going up, my friends. So jump in there, go to davidihill.com/challenge, go up to the top, click on that link, make sure you join us on that challenge. There's a few seats left. We don't have a lot of seats just because it's a smaller group, so we can't let everybody in. All right, any other thoughts, questions, comments? Cheryl, did you get your phone fixed up? I don't know. All right. Well, Cheryl, we appreciate you. If we don't have anybody else, then I am going to just shut it down. I think we had a good conversation here. We talked about Zillow. Nobody really gave me any solutions for Zillow because I don't know if anybody really knows. I worked Zillow a long time ago when I was running my team, but like I would just be like, what are you gonna do? And then Zillow has that stupid, and you can tell them I said this, that stupid policy where you're not even supposed to ask them if they had another agent. You're just supposed to run out and go see him. So what are you going to do now when you get a buyer lead that comes in? You're just going to go run out and hope that everything pans out? No, you can't. It doesn't make sense. You shouldn't be doing it now. But so yeah, I'd love to know what you guys' thoughts are when it comes to the Zillow leads. And then, for sale by owners, to me, that got easier. That's easy. Like I said earlier, I'm literally, Louise, I'm considering just going out there, start taking listings again. This to me seems easy.
David, in this market, this is what, if you've been in this any length of time, this is more of a normal market, things sitting on the market longer than 30 days, 60 days. So having more of an inventory, but where I personally do business in Pinellas County, we have a tremendous amount of inventory that has just come on the market. But
where are you located, Don?
Clearwater.
Oh, Florida. Got it. Okay, Clearwater. Yep. Okay. Yeah. See, we don't have any. We have hardly any inventory, Don.
Oh my word! We have 8,000 pieces of property that's on the inventory in a small county.
Wow.
Yeah. So I have a home. Kind of give you an idea. That's 6,400 square feet, the best price on the market. Everything around there is selling for 1.2, 1.4. This is at $1,050,000, and we're not getting any showings.
Yeah,
and it is a magnificent place, one of the most desirable neighborhoods to move into. We also have one that we just lowered. It was $495. Got it in contract. People couldn't get their financing. So anyway, we lowered it 50,000, no showings. So that's across the board. That's just not us. That's all the agents out here. We're having about 900 price decreases every week.
Wow.
Yeah. So that kind of gives you an idea of what's going on in our little neck of the woods here.
Yeah, so I'm part of some different groups, and they talk about real estate on more of a macro level, right? I know real estate really is more of a micro level, right? Because everybody has their own markets. But if you look at real estate on that larger level, it's, Florida is most parts, not all of Florida, but a lot of parts of Florida. Also Vegas, Arizona, there's a lot of inventory building up. But then there's a lot of pockets that, like Massachusetts, hardly any inventory.
What I meant to say on that, I didn't mean to go off on that tangent. Apologize.
No, it's fine, man.
was the for sale by owner market has always been a good market. I love doing FSBO. As a matter of fact, if I want more listings, I just pick the phone up. That's my whole philosophy in getting listings, and I just start calling FSBO. I don't deal with anybody else to get listings but FSBOs. Now my wife, she deals with all the referral business and the expired business, but it's just so simple now. Everybody who has jumped on the bandwagon and tried to list their homes, they're not even getting showings on them. I've been talking to them, and so you're right. If you want to get active in listings, definitely pick up that phone and start calling those people.
Yeah, I think now's a good opportunity. We're going to be doing it on Monday, starting Monday as a group. You should jump in here with us, Don. You have some fun, man. See how you match up against some of our agents, man. I'm making calls too. Like I'm going to be an ISA for my wife, bro. I'm literally making calls for my wife. That's what I'm going to be doing all next week.
That's good.
I'm serious. She's going to have a lot of appointments, man.
What I used to do was with a group that I'm with, Espresso Agent, which is
we're using them now too. Well, my daughters are coming up here. What's going on, kiddo?
What I used to do is do a YouTube, not a YouTube, but a Zoom, and we get several agents online, and we would. I'm assuming that's what you're doing. We just do a free for all calling. When somebody picks up on a line, everybody goes mute and listens in and starts chiming in if they need any kind of help with any of the questions. Yeah, so it was always a lot of fun, and we always had everybody got appointments set.
We're going to be doing an afternoon set. So there'll be an afternoon session where a lot of our people are already doing that. So the way we set it up is every day where there's going to be a specific seller that we're going to target. For instance, Mondays is going to be sphere of influence and past clients. We're gonna jump on. We're gonna do some training. We're gonna give you some scripts, some SMS templates, some email templates, some things to send, and then literally practice a little bit. And everybody's gonna take off. And then a couple hours later, the people that want to meet will meet on the Zoom, like you just talked about. Other people will make the calls themselves. The goal is to have 10 conversations every day, no less than 10. Show up the next day, show your numbers, tell us how many appointments you set, how many contacts did you have, and at the end, there's going to be a winner, and we're going to have an awesome prize. We're going to celebrate. It's going to be amazing, man. So we're doing that for 8 days, man. We're going right through the weekend too. It's exciting. I think it's perfect timing too. Perfect timing with everything that's happening right now. So jump in, man. Jump in. Get in the game, bro.
It's a blast. It really is. So, what's your time zone we're talking about?
We're in the same as you. We're in Eastern time zone.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll send you a message, man. Well, you know what? There's a link on the top, man. If you're like, hey, $297 is nothing, man. You know, jump in and make the quick investment. Jump in. I'll give you some serious accountability. You have some fun for the week, hanging out with a bunch of agents that are out there doing stuff.
Yeah, mine was always 30 numbers. I connect to 10 people, get 4 appointments.
Hey, pretty. How are
it
you?
was just.
Thank you. I love you. You guys going to grandma's?
Yeah.
All right. Tell Mom I said bye and I love her. And I'll see you guys after.
I have to make you something real quick.
Okay. Cool.
Real quick.
Real quick.
Yeah, real.
All right, cool. We have hey, Shawnee's in the house. What up, Shawnee? Haven't seen you in ages. How's it going?
Hey, David. It's so cute. You're talking to your daughter. I love it. Good. Yeah. It's been a long time. I'm not on Clubhouse too much these days.
Neither am I, but I popped in for this. We're actually streaming live on X. If you want to jump, I do a lot more on X these days. But yeah, we got a live stream going, and it looks like we had 117 people like right now on X. So not a bad deal. So what's going on with you? What do you think about this? These changes coming, all this.
Yeah, so I saw the news. And I was kind of disappointed that they settled because, to me, it's such a fundamental question. The other brokers are still going ahead with their lawsuits as of right now. Mine being one of them, but it was disappointing that they settled when from the very beginning. This has always been a choice, you know. Where I'm licensed, you know, it's always been listing agreement. You pay the broker your fee, and then the broker pays their buyer's agent fee if they want to another agency. It's a choice. It's always been negotiable, and you don't have to agree to anything. To me, it's a garbage lawsuit. That's why I don't understand how people are folding and who's testifying. I'd like to see more of the transcripts. It doesn't make any sense to me when a choice, when this is clearly a choice. It's not even gray at all. You know, especially since everything's negotiable, you don't have to sign anything. The same model that attorneys use. You know, they get basically paid 33%. You know, when there's a class action lawsuit or accident, is that fixed? Why aren't we suing attorneys? So it just doesn't make any sense. You signed an agreement. If you're involved with a lawsuit, you signed the agreement accepting that. You don't have to sign anything. So to me, it's always been so ridiculous and garbage, especially when, at least in states where I'm licensed, you clearly agree to pay your broker. Your broker's free to do whatever they want with their compensation. So our agreement reads that you pay the broker, and then we can pay a co-broker if you want to. So I don't understand. It's pretty black and white to me, and I don't understand the folding.
Well, you're like me. You know, and probably it was like 2009 or something, or 2008. We had a trainer come in and showed us how to explain, you know, our commission to a seller. And basically what he taught us was you just let the seller know that, hey, we charge this much for what we do, and then here's how we can pay the other side, right, when they show up. And so right from the beginning, we would just separate it, like, this is what we get, and now let's figure out strategically how to pay the other side, right? And
but David, it goes one step beyond that. Remember, it goes one step beyond that. It says, at least our agreement says, you owe the listing broker the commission. They don't even pay the buyer's broker. Our commission agreements or listing agreements say you pay this, and there happens to be a co-broker, then we can give a portion to them. So that's the disconnect that I'm having, the problem I have with this whole case.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm in Massachusetts, so a different state, maybe different, you know, documents or paperwork, right? But yeah, I mean, I can understand it though, because if I'm a seller of a house and the real estate agent shows up and says, I can sell your house for $400,000, well, doesn't it make more sense to say it's going to cost 3% instead of 6%? I mean,
they could do that today.
Anybody
they
normally.
No,
I know, but that well, technically they can't, because the agents want to offer a compensation. That's what the lawsuit is, though.
It's all negotiable, though, David.
No,
somebody can say no. They can say no. If I go to a seller and I tell him my commission is 6%, for example, and he says, no, I don't want to pay that. I want to pay 4%, 5%, 3%. He doesn't have to sign anything or agree to anything. That's why this is madness to me. Well, it's madness.
You have to read it, I think, Shawnee, because it's what they're saying is they don't want to pay the buyer's agent side of the transaction. So it doesn't really have anything to do with the amount of the commission. It's the buyer side.
Right, but they're not. But it's a free. You don't have to. You've never had to. You could always say, I'm only paying. Doesn't matter how it's split. Doesn't matter how it's split. Even if it was 1%, 2%. You're right. The amount doesn't matter. It's just, why are they concerned when the agreement is to pay the broker? Yeah. Why are they concerned with the broker does with their compensation?
I don't know. I don't know why, but all I know is this is what's coming. So I think we all need to, you know, a lot of people are going to need to figure out, like, what am I going to do going forward? So I'm giving you guys a solution, a cool solution, an easy solution right now. Join us on Monday, and at least you'll have a good head start, and you'll be in some pretty high level conversations with some agents all over the country that are going to be focused on this. And plus, all we focus on is listings anyway. So that's it. It's called Real Estate Listings Club. That's the name of our community. So it's all we do. We focus on listings. If you want listings, now's the time. You know, and don't go start listening to people that have never even taken any listings and getting trained by people that aren't taking listings. That are you got to go find people that are taking listings and jump into a group of people that are doing it. And it's the community. The community is almost as important if not more important than the person who's running the group, because the community is what keeps everybody together. You know, community's heart is super important these days. So, but listen, I appreciate all you guys popping in. It's good to see you, Shawnee. Dawn, good to see you. Cheryl, good to see you. Laureen, good to see you as well. And thank you guys. I think that's all for today. Again, if anybody wants to join us in the community, there's a link on the top. It's literally $297. Not to be mean, but if you don't have $297 to join, then that's exactly why you need to figure out how to join, so that you're never in a situation again in real estate where you can't just invest $297 in something without even having to think twice about it. So appreciate you guys. Hope you have a great rest of your day. davidihill.com/challenge, davidihill.com/challenge. Yeah, David Hill's always selling. You're right, 100%. That's what I do. I love selling. I'm a salesman. I've been doing it 36 years. Here's what I do. I help listing-focused real estate agents find motivated sellers, follow up, and take more listings. That's what I do. I help listing-focused real estate agents find motivated sellers, follow up, and take more listings. So if that's something you're interested in, join us in the community. And by the way, what we also did was, just to go over deliver, we added a 30-day membership. By the way, our university membership is $297 a month. So that's essentially free. So you get the challenge with us, 8 days plus the university. So appreciate you guys. You rock. Good to see some of you. Join me on X, by the way. We're on X. Love to see some of you guys on X. If you're not there yet, let's get it connected over there. A lot of good stuff going on X. All right. Peace. All right. X. You got anything over here? Any questions, comments, thoughts, concerns? Let's see. We are live on X. I see that. So anybody? Man, we had a group early. Those guys were like super like into the conversation, man. They were posting in the chat, dropping comments. Come on. What's up with the real estate? All the real estate agents are frustrated. You all are probably upset right now about this whole thing. Don't get upset. Do something about it. Take action. You see that little link right there? You see that where it says davidihill.com/challenge? That's where I like. Here's what I would do. If I was a real estate agent, and you all know I am, but if I wasn't myself right now, and I was listening to this conversation, and I'm like, man, I need to figure out how to get some listings. I would say I would go figure out. I would go get my credit card out, jump into that challenge, get yourself signed up, and then be on the call early Monday morning with us, and spend the next 30 days with a group of people that every day push each other to go out there and take listings and support each other and pass referrals amongst each other. That's what I would be doing. So you guys can do that, by the way. You just go to davidihill.com/challenge. I'm going to actually hook you up too. Check this out. I'm going to hook you up with, let me see. Where is this thing? All right. Oh, that's the wrong one. Hold on a second. So you see that little thing on my screen right there? Huh? How cool was that? Seen that? Let's see. How do we fix that? Can't fix it right now. All right. Anyway, listen. Thank you guys. If we don't have anything, I'm not going to keep talking. I'd love it if anybody's here and want to come up. The thing shows me 123 people. So if anybody wants to come up, jump in the conversation, we're here. Look forward to hearing from you. Love to hear your thoughts. It's an important time in the real estate. It's an important time as a real estate agent. The things that you do now are going to have a huge impact going forward. Like the decisions you make right now are going to be affecting you going forward. July is going to be here. July is going to be here before you know it. So I'm here to help you, my friends. I'm here to help you. DavidIhill.com/challenge.